are the reason why you're stuck. Your feelings are the reason why you can't get over the hump. Your feelings are the reason that you can never win. See, most people let their feelings dictate their future when instead of having your decisions dictate your results. Because feelings are temporary, results are permanent. But your results can change when you change, not your feelings, when you change your decisions. Well, this is day 12, and when you make a decision to like stop or start doing things based on your feelings, something shifts in the authority of yourself and the identity of yourself. And if you notice, like a lot of what I'm sharing with you is about identity. And if you don't get that part right, everything else will never really fall into place. And because sometimes, like, you'll base your identity off of things that you've done, but that's the wrong place to get your identity. It's the wrong place to get the authority. It's the wrong place to get your experience. Now, getting your authority, identity, and experience from those things are also valuable, but it's not as valuable as who you're becoming by deciding on what identity you're going to come out of. This is kind of why, like, if you look at some successful people, celebrities, case in point, I think I'm going to go this way now. Like a Kobe Bryant, for example. Kobe Bryant, um, let's see, Beyonce, uh, they had alter egos where they pulled energy from because they may have felt like they were being stuck. That they no longer wanted to pull from old identity. So Kobe, for example, I think there's a study where he was talking about where, or they did some studies on him where he felt like he lost his edge, and he went to his trainer, and they said, "Well, it's not that you lost your edge; you lost your identity." And uh, so they created him a new identity, and a new identity they came up with was the Black Mamba, right? So he became the Black Mamba, and he had a whole new brand around becoming the Mamba and the Mamba mentality. And so, with that being said, he had to study the he had to study what is the identity of a Mamba, what is the mindset of a Black Mamba, right? And he adapted himself to that Mamba mentality because he felt like he lost his edge. And this is what sometimes you got to do is because like when you're going through things, challenging things, sometimes if you feel stuck, it may not be a challenge that you're facing so much so that you can't get over because you just don't know what to do, but it might be an identity issue. Like you lost your identity or you outgrown that identity because some things have seasons. So Kobe went through his Black Mamba era where and right after he like really adapted that new identity, calling himself the Black Mamba, I think he had his one of the first games. I don't know if it was the exact first game, but it was one of the first few games after he had taken on that new identity. He scored 60 some points in the game. Shortly after that, he scored the 81 points in the game, all through the new identity of the Black Mamba. Similar to like a Beyonce. When she was Beyonce, she was coming from Destiny's Child. She came out, you know, with her and her team, Destiny's Child. But when she kind of wanted to rebrand, she had an identity that everybody associated with her from how she started. And she wanted to make a shift because she wanted to be, looked at as an older person and more growner content. And she became Sasha Fierce. which became her alter ego. Now, how does that resonate with you right now? Well, if, like I said, you're feeling stuck and you're moving off of your feelings and not based on identity and authority and who you're becoming and who you're serving and what you've decided to do. And sometimes when you decide to do something, you are doing everything that you can in the identity that you are right now. Because the identity that you are right now, you're doing everything. Like you already have been in the past working to become that person. But when you hit your glass ceiling, and notice I say a glass ceiling because what I'm doing with you right now is giving you the tools to break the glass. And it starts with self-identification, it starts with self-talk, it starts with self-realization and challenging those false beliefs that may be holding you back from a place that's an invisible wall. That, all you have to do is remove the blinders from your eyes, remove it, and walk right there through your next level and be okay with going through the pain of the becoming to get to what you got to get to. And this is why people feelings stop them, because they feel like it's not the right time or it doesn't feel right. And they misassociate their feelings with discernment and intuition. They think, oh, it doesn't feel right. Well, they're going off their feelings and they're not realizing that they're mistaking intuition. And there's two things Daddy used to say to me. Uh, I was like, hey, I call my great daddy Dad. I'm like, hey, Dad, my check engine light came on. I gotta get my car fixed. And he's like, just change your oil, dummy. He called he called them dummy lights. He says, just because your check engine light come on, don't mean your engine's about to fall out. They call them. He calls them dummy lights. Because if you don't have the awareness to just take care of yourself and be up on changing your oil or whatever, topping off the fluids on your car, you get a light that says, hey, check my engine. And it doesn't mean that it's about to fall out, but it means something's not registering right. And that's what your feelings are. They're dummy lights to what's really going on. It's not that your life is falling apart, but it's something's not right. Check it before it gets bad. So when you basing your decisions off your feelings and you're wondering why you're stuck, it's because you're looking at the wrong metrics. You're measuring the wrong things. You're misinterpreting your feelings for your intuition, and you're saying, hey, this isn't working. But that's just it's just supposed to help you go deeper and find the root cause. You need to do a self-diagnostic on like who you are and why are you feeling that way. You're supposed to say, that feeling was abnormal. What does that mean? And do a diagnostic, just like you would take your car in for a diagnostic and say, okay, you go to an expert and they'll tell you all the things that are right or wrong with it and how much time you have before it falls out. That's how you use your feelings correctly. And because we're on day 12 of this, of going hard for 75 days, I didn't feel like coming out here today, but actually I felt good at first, but then that feeling kind of disappeared. So, but I know better than to rely on my feelings to make a decision. I make a decision and I do it until it works. I don't do it until I feel good or I don't feel good, no matter what it is. It's like, and yeah, I have to be educated enough to like, okay, this isn't right, but that's not what I'm talking about right now. I'm talking about like leaning fully on your feelings is the real point. So anyway, I say all I have to say, push through your feelings. Pain is temporary. Keep pushing through. What are you feeling right now that might be stopping you from your next level? What feelings that have came up? Is it this doesn't feel right? What have you said? What questions have you asked yourself and calling them feelings and you self-diagnose yourself and it kept you from doing something? My decisions direct me to my destinations. My feelings are indicators. I check my feelings. My feelings are dummy lights to make sure, to give me the awareness to make sure I can check, make sure something's going wrong or right. They're not the decision makers. I am the decision maker. I make decisions and I follow through with my decisions. I push through pain because pain is temporary and everything I want is on the other side. Everything I want is on the other side. If this resonates with you, drop a comment and I'd love to engage with you in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you at day 13.